looks into the mirror, tucks her hair behind her ears, reapplies the makeup, running down her face from wasted tears. And that's just from the thought of what the night's got in store, surely to be revealed behind the knocking of the door. She then spends what feels like an hour crying to herself while inside her soul's devoured, to end up in the shower, but the pain will wash away. The man who's leaving now is too caught up inside his own decay. Since his early days, way back at school, an object of ridicule, never seen as cool. But what was fun for them would hinder his whole life, it seems, resulting from the way they stripped him of his self-esteem. He's 33, he's never had a girlfriend. He spends most of his nights at home hoping that his world ends, but he just sits alone feeling lost and confused, finding sanctity between the thighs of a prostitute. But there's only so much that he can take. Every human being has a point at which they break. Suicide's the last resort that far too many take, but he made the same mistake and bled away into his fate, leaving just a razor blade. His body wasn't found for days and stumbled upon by a maid, even though it's far too late. She calls an ambulance, tells him to come quick. There's a man in the bath who's just slit his wrists. First on the scene, a young paramedic, recent graduate, level-headed female academic. Thought she was strong, she thought she had what it takes, but she was wrong and has to overcome her own dismay. And day after day she's haunted by these gore scenes and tries to hide the pain behind a vein full of morphine. She hates her job, it makes her feel sick. She only stays on so she can steal her next fix. She's looking gone, all happiness has gone amiss. She's half the girl she was and her boss has noticed this, but he's too caught up in his own little life, this time in the form of his cheating wife. He decides that tonight he'll confront her, equipped with a list of all her dialed numbers and other clues he's collected over months of going through her phone and looking through her stuff. He went home to find his wife in the kitchen, walked in, grabbed her by the arm and started switching. Unstable disposition, shouting his suspicions. His wife couldn't lie, and then came the admissions. She started screaming and broke down in tears, told him it was true and that she ain't loved him for years. Filled with rage, he grabs a kitchen knife, aims for her stomach and he plunges it inside. He sees her light fade from her eyes as she slumps, drops a knife to his side and cries, "What have I done?" Through the commotion, the police have been called. They kick down the door to find him crying in a blood pool, stroking the body of his murdered wife. They tried him for murder and they sentenced him to life. He now spends his nights inside a prison cell, sharing with a rapist who makes his life a living hell. And the guard in charge knows that this goes on, but turns a blind eye, not seeing any wrong. He's all convinced there's some sort of sick justice, but who's he to judge outside the job that he's stuck with? He's just plagued by his own mental blemishes and targeted his inmates as his nemesis. He spreads his own pain over those below him and thinks he runs his cell block even though it owns him. And after every shift you'll find him at a bar. Tonight he sits next to a girl who self-harms. She hides her scars on her arms under long sleeves. It's fair to say that life was not the way that she perceived. She holds a ton of grief until her palms are swollen. She had no choice of how her innocence was stolen. Another troubled existence made harder by the hands of a paedophilic father. She used to fear being left alone, and I'll never understand how a man can hurt his own. But when her mum went out, he used to take her up to her room where he used to rape her. And when the abuse ended and he'd leave her, he'd tell her if she spoke out no one would believe her. And she believed him, she never told a soul, and in turn her own soul grew cold. She held the pain inside her whole life and found relief on the blade of a knife. It's not a cry for help, she don't want none. She'd just rather feel pain instead of feeling so numb. But with each slice the pain grew weaker, so eventually the slices went deeper, so deep that she hit a major vein. Still no pain, she started feeling faint. She bled away, another grisly fate, another life needlessly taken away. And I could go on for days, flipping examples. All you got here is a few vague samples in all walks of life, regardless of classes. A big cloud of pain showers down on the masses. So what's my point? I guess what I'm saying is everywhere I look I'm surrounded by pain. And even if I find my own inner peace, I still feel the pain of the others that I see. So what's the point if I'll always be depressed? Why continue to live in a world that I detest? Why just sit back and hate the ride? I guess I just ain't got the balls for suicide. I just write my thoughts and hope that you keep listening and exist, if only for the point of existing.